Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Hopefully everybody's safe at home. I'm just kind of sitting around waiting for the snow and ice to hit. I want to start out the morning by thanking our monthly sponsor, Iconica. We'll be hearing from them in just a minute or two. And of course, our annual sponsors, MG&E, Marco Technologies, we'll also be hearing from them, Premier Retirement Partners, and Hilton Garden Inn. Thank you. If anybody runs into them, has a virtual coffee with them, please be sure to recognize them for their contributions to this event. All right, virtual etiquette. I know this isn't any of our first rodeos, but just a reminder, make sure that you are on mute. You know, if you have a question, you can put it in chat. Kristen will be watching those. There will be an email sent out on Friday. We want to make sure that even though we're not being able to come together in person, that you're still able to make connections. And so as kind of a virtual business card swap, Kristen will be emailing all of the people's information who attended today's event. If you do not want your email included in that communication, please let Kristen know. She will be sending out that email on Friday. And just as a reminder, this is to help you make individual connections. So please don't send mass emails out to the list that we send around. We really want this to be utilized as a way to make one-on-one connections. Our community events and all of our member events are on our website and our calendar of events, so please check that out at middletonchamber.com. You'll also find a resource page there that has updated information on everything that's happening with COVID. And then all of our professional development events are recorded and provided to you on YouTube. We've had some really great speakers recently, so if you weren't able to attend, be sure to go out there and utilize those resources. All right, so I've got some big shoes to fill. I am going to be providing you with the member update this month. So before we get started, if you aren't following us on Facebook, Insta, and LinkedIn, I encourage you to do so. We have a lot of really fun things going on. That's where you'll find out what's happening, who our new members are, the events that we have going on. You know, Lisa's awesome sense of humor comes across. So if you haven't witnessed that, I encourage you to follow us for sure, because she's a blast. All right, membership milestone, 69 years for TDS. Like, they must have been member 1 or maybe 2. So thank you very, very much for decades of partnership. 31 years, BKD CPA as an advisor, 32 years, BMO Harris, 25 years, Capital Brewery and the Little Red Preschool. 10 years, we have Clarity Technology Group, 5 years, Midwest Family Marketing, Madison, and WMTV NBC 15. So thank you all for your commitment to the Chamber of Commerce, vitality, and our community. All right, so we have a couple new members that we want to introduce. And we asked each of them who they wanted to meet. Many of you heard from Catherine during our networking. Lee Michaels Sculpture Cakes is a at-home wine and cake pairing. Owners Catherine and Michael would like to connect with wineries, wine bars, liquor stores, donut companies, and bakeries. So do I, like right now. So if you're one of those, PM me and I'll give you my address. I'll take one of everything. They'd also like to meet businesses who can help them with purchasing, marketing, and promotion of their business. So welcome, Catherine and Michael. We're thrilled to have you as one of our newest members. All right, next up, we have Shuli Mitchell. Literally every organization can benefit from their risk-free cost reduction audit. And Alan is open to meeting any chamber member. Most clients are organizations with more than 20 employees and can be for-profit or not. Alan also works with other professionals as referral partners. This includes accountants, attorneys, and financial advisors, as well as technical consultants in the areas of IT or telecom. I saw representatives from every single one of those industries this morning, so please reach out and be sure to welcome them to the Middleton Chamber. Next up, we have Third Coast Advisors. Janelle has been in the financial planning for the last 10 years and has extensive 401k and IRA experience prior to that. She's looking to connect with individuals and small business owners who are planning for retirement. She can help you eliminate the risks and failure points in your financial life. Welcome, Janelle and Third Coast Advisors. And have some fun at X Golf Madison. It sounds like you can go to their Madison location here in the next couple of days, and in the next couple of weeks, you'll be able to visit them in Middleton. X Golf is an indoor golf simulation business specializing in lessons. I need a lot of help. I'll see you guys soon. Club fittings, leagues, event hosting, and casual play with full bar and food menu. Seth and Aaron are looking to connect with businesses looking for event hosting and others in the sports and hospitality industry. Let's welcome Seth and Aaron. All right, next up is the Ambassadors of the Month. I just want to give a huge shout out to all of our ambassadors out there. They are truly an extension of our office. They are the cheerleaders of our business community, and we really appreciate everything that they do for us. This month, our Ambassadors of the Month are Erica Barker with Mississippi Valley Regional Blood Center and Drew with Marco Technologies. So thank you very, very much. Everybody give a high five to those two. They are, that group is what allows us to connect with so many businesses every year. All right, we have a ton of micro groups. For those of you that are new, these are kind of small groups that are really targeted to specific topics. So we've got social media, joy in leadership, the City of Middleton with Mike Davis, effective leadership, networking for impact, challenges and opportunities for small business, wellness, building a strong community of women leaders, and the new member micro group that's put on by no other than Lisa Quam. So if you're interested in joining one of these groups or starting one of your own, I encourage you to reach out to Lisa. Her email address is Lisa Quam, right? Because we have too many Lisas, at middletonchamber.com. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Kristen to go over all the programming and events that we have coming up.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. So the first one that I definitely want to mention is Sip and Sample. So we are doing this on Tuesday, February 16th. I'm really excited about how this event is turning out. So the short version of what's happening is takeout from a local Middleton Chamber member restaurant. Then you head home for entertainment that we'll be doing through Zoom. Tickets are just $35. If there are two people watching from home, they're only $60 for both of you to get dinner and entertainment. We have optional drink packages that you can add on to dinner. And if takeout is just too far away from home for you, we also have an entertainment option only so that you can still participate in all that fun. So just taking a look at what that entertainment is. So we have the amazing Jeffrey Sandler from Celebrations Entertainment that will be our MC for the night. Your takeout dinner options include Long Table, Ruth's Chris, Craftsman Table and Top, and Johnny's Italian Steakhouse. We'll be doing networking through breakouts, similar to what we do here at GMM. We're doing a mixology class with Eric Mulberry from Diageo, and they're one of the world's largest spirit and beer producers. And then also we have a live comedy show with Gianmarco Soresi. So I'd love to play you just a short clip of what his comedy is like for you guys.
Hello, hi.
Oh, don't click around, Kristen.
My name is Gianmarco Soresi, and I used to be a touring stand-up comedian. I released a comedy special on Amazon last year. It's the first time Jeff Bezos has ever lost money. And I am going to be entertaining at the Middleton Chamber of Commerce Sip and Sample event, February 16th, or Fat Tuesday, so drink up. I've already cleared it with my roommate. He's not home right now. My roommate, he actually moved from China to America in January, which is like boarding the Titanic from the iceberg. Having roommates during coronavirus, it feels like I'm in an unfaithful marriage. Like every time he comes home, I'm like, where the hell have you been? Did you even wear protection? Or were you just a dirty tramp? We're going to have a lot of fun. So come to the show. I'll see you there.
So,
hello.
I want to give just a shout out to our sponsors for this event. They obviously make it happen. And if you feel like you're having a little FOMO, the fear of missing out, I am right now going to drop into chat the link for you to purchase your ticket. So I want you all to save this link and click on it and purchase your ticket, because I would like all of you guys to be there. I think it's going to be super fun. We're going to have a great time, great food, great drinks, great entertainment, and looking forward to celebrating Sip and Sample with all of you guys. Other February programming events that we have next week, we have our virtual one-on-one networking through Networking Blitz. So that is Tuesday the 9th. If you're in a committed relationship but always wanted to try speed dating, this may be your thing. It's one-on-one that you get every 7 minutes, you get connected with another person. So you'll connect with 7 different people in that 1 hour networking session. We also have On Track this month, which is going to be social media contests and how they work, best practices, how to increase your likes on Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. And we're ending the month. I'm really excited to have Darcy Loma. She's a very well-known motivational and keynote speaker here in our community. And she is kind enough to be bringing us Thoughtfully Fit, Building Resilience During Uncertain Times. So those are all available for registration on the Chamber's website. Just to plug, we do have 2 or 3 months left of GMM sponsorships. So if you're interested in speaking at one of these events in the future, please reach out to me. I'd love to get you slotted into one of those. And we're going to try something new today. So I want to stop sharing my screen. We're going to play a little game called Never Have I Ever. We're going to shake it up and have a little fun. So the way this is going to work is that the last person standing, the last person with their camera on, is going to win a $10 Chamber gift certificate. Okay, so to play, you must have your camera on. As I read the questions, if you've done the thing that I say, then you're out and you have to turn your camera off. Another way to say that is if the statement is true for you, you're still in, so leave your camera on. Does that make sense? So if I say, never have I ever ate deep fried pickles, if you've had deep fried pickles, your camera stays on. And if you have had deep fried pickles, then you turn it off. So okay, everybody that wants to play, I'm gonna wait a second here and have you guys all turn your cameras on. And again, if that, turn them off if this applies to you as we go through it, okay? We'll see how this goes. Never have I ever had a pet fish named Dory. So I'm gonna kind of go, Paul, did you really have a pet named Dory? Oh my gosh, really? You guys, this is amazing. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go kind of through them fast so we can keep on schedule. Never have I ever played golf on a cruise ship. Never have I ever went to the circus and was called up on stage. Never have I ever eaten a bug dipped in chocolate. Never have I ever hid my report card from my parents when I was little. Never have I ever been ice skating at Rockefeller Center. Never have I ever been on TV or radio. Ooh, that one got quite a few. Okay, never have I ever been on a road trip to 3 or more states. Had some people standing at. Never have I ever rolled down a hill as an adult. Never have I ever built something out of wood besides a fire. Okay, what I got left? I got Jim, Catherine, and Alyssa. Okay, never have I ever climbed out a window. Okay, Alyssa's still in. Jim and Catherine, oh, Jim's gone. Catherine's still in. Okay, never have I ever eaten catfish. Oh, Alyssa's gone. All right, looks like Catherine, you're our winner. Awesome. Well, I hope that was just fun. It was just something fun, something new to try. Hopefully it was okay. Give me some feedback. If you guys like that, we can do it again, for sure. So now I'm actually going to turn it back to Kate for some introductions on our speakers today.
Thanks, Kristen. I thought that was fun. It's interesting to kind of get to know people a little bit with seeing who turns their cameras off when. All right, so first up we have Iconica. Iconica is an architectural engineering and construction company located just south of Greenway Station. One of their specialties is helping businesses make better use of space by remodeling, reconfiguring, adding on, or moving. I think there are a lot of businesses out there right now that are kind of reswizzling their offices for social distancing. They guide their customers through the chaos of building projects one step at a time. Now I'll turn it over to Jim, John, and Kevin to share some of the amazing work they've done throughout the community.
Thank you, Kate. I'm Jim Pienka, President and CEO of Iconica, and with me I have John Seaman, Director of Design Strategy, and Kevin Carey, Director of Business Development for us. And as Kate said, we're a full-service architectural, engineering, and construction company. We've been on the west side of Madison for 33 years, and we're really passionate about what we do. As was discussed at the warm-up session today, the money pit, the perceptions of the construction industry of being a money pit, of being something that's just going to go on and be 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, is something we're really passionate about changing. We believe that people view our industry in a negative way, especially when it comes to remodeling, and we believe there's a better way to do it. So we have a really simple process that we walk people through. We call it our 3-step process. Step 1 is we verify and clarify what your needs are. We really take the time to understand what you need, what you're looking to obtain, what your goals are for the project, and then we design and price it. And if we're not aligned with what your expectations are, we're going to go back to the drawing board and we're going to figure that out for you. But we're not going to move forward to construction until we're really aligned on all of your goals. Step 3 of our process is very simple: execute as promised. And that is as simple as saying, we're going to do exactly what we say we're going to do, and we're going to deliver on time, on budget to you. We're currently working on a couple projects here in Middleton, the Crestal, formerly known as the Addy, which is across the street from Willie Street Co-op, and Cardinal View Senior Living on Parmenter Street across from Nuns Flooring. That would be a good connection down the road with Pop Art, because there'll be 100+ seniors moving into that facility, and I'd love to connect you with the owners of that facility. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to John to talk a little bit more how we get the process started.
Jim, thanks a lot, and great to see everyone today for sure. It really starts with a mindset for us. We really see ourselves primarily as a guide to helping clients achieve goals. That's really important for us. We ask a lot of questions. We really try and dive in and get a good understanding of goals and requirements that clients have. We feel like without that, the results are not that great. And what we're really aiming to do is knock it out of the park in terms of expectations and finish. So once we get really clear on goals, then we really start the design work. We're looking at multiple options, and that's going to be true whether it's a remodel, whether it's a new building. But that, in either case, it's a back and forth process. It's an iterative process with our clients. It's usually a lot of fun, quite frankly. But that really bears the results that I think everybody's looking for. So when we get to that helps us get to those final solutions. The shape of those become pretty clear. And there's a slide on scanning technology. So I'll back up just a second. I apologize. We're really diving into work with clients in a remote way. We've done that in the past. We do that quite a bit now. So we're looking at their existing space and understanding their needs in a very remote way, and actually coming up with initial design solutions in that way too. I want to talk a little bit about some of the projects that we've done. There's some pretty recognizable ones around town. State Bank of Cross Plains, and Von Briesen and Roper is actually an example of a project outside of our market, but it's a great remodel project. We're really heavily involved in apartment projects. 306 West Main is a pretty recognizable one. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is something that's pretty recognizable as well. We're also heavily involved in oftentimes focusing a lot on light industrial manufacturing projects. Lance Valley Food is a good example. and probably one of everybody's favorites is Wisconsin Brewing Company in Verona. So that said, if you think we can help, let us know. I'm going to pass the mic to Kevin.
Thanks, John. Again, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kevin Carey. I've been the Director of Business Development at Iconica for the past 18 months, but my relationship with Iconica goes back 13 years. Started actually at a golf outing when Lee Schwartz, who had my job at the time, asked me if I wanted to use Iconica to build a dental clinic that I was working on. I think it was a week later, Jim and I met with the dentists and the design team, and we were off and running. Iconica did an incredible job. The dentists thanked me numerous times for this because they said it just couldn't have gone any smoother. Over the next 13 years, I did a fair amount of work with Iconica. They would do site plans for me for development projects, cost estimates on small build out projects. They built everything from smaller 3,000 square foot dental clinic to Eric's Bikes out on East Washington Avenue. As a picture up right now is the corporate headquarters for an insurance company, 150,000 square foot building. So really did a whole range of projects for us. And the reason that I kept coming back as a client was that every single time we'd get done with the project, the client would thank me saying, Kevin, you did an awesome job. I was like, yeah, it wasn't really me. Appreciate the compliment, but it wasn't me. They really, really took care of things. And so that's why I kept going back. If you think that you guys have any kind of need like that, we would be happy to talk to you. It's not necessarily about design build, it's about solving problems, and consider us your easy button. So I would look forward to talking to any of you. I'll turn it back over to Jim to wrap things up.
So I just want to thank everyone for giving us the opportunity to share a little bit about us today. In the next coming weeks, you're going to maybe see our truck Ace running around town. This is a kind of our goodwill ambassador. We take it out to job sites, to clients' offices. Whatever we can do safely with COVID today, we're gonna do, and we're gonna just create fun and energy with our clients. It's a good way to interact with people. We'd love to share it with you folks and do an event with the chamber or with any of the businesses. Give us a call and we can talk more about it. But I want to thank Kristen and Kate for teeing us up and getting this organized for us today. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. I have a new tagline for you. If we say 2 weeks, we mean it.
There we go.
I knew that was coming, Kate. I knew it. That's good.
All right, next up we have Wisconsin Policy Forum. The Wisconsin Policy Forum is a nonpartisan, independent statewide policy research organization whose mission is to provide informed, nonpartisan analysis of critical policy issues affecting local governments, school districts, in the state of Wisconsin. Joining us today is the president of the Wisconsin Policy Forum, a position he has held since 2008. Since joining the forum, Rob has authored or co-authored 5 reports that won national awards from the Governmental Research Association. So take it over, Rob.
Well, thank you very much, Kate. Thanks, Kristen, for inviting me. Thanks to all of you for indulging me for 5 minutes here. See some friendly faces out there. Nice to see you again, Van and Don Powell. Nice to see you, and congratulations on what's going on with your business. So I just want to very briefly run through who we are, what we do, and why we think you should care about who we are and what we do. So we can go to the first slide here. Van was actually nice enough to invite me in a couple of months after the former Public Policy Forum and the Wisconsin Taxpayers Alliance merged. That happened in 2019. That is when we became the Wisconsin Policy Forum. The Public Policy Forum was based in Milwaukee and had been around since 1913. The Wisconsin Taxpayers Alliance, as I'm sure many of you know, because I know Todd Berry used to come before this group quite often, had existed and had been located in Madison since 1932. We now have offices in both Milwaukee and Madison. We cover the entire state. What has not changed with regard to the mission of the organization from the 2 legacy organizations is our commitment to fierce nonpartisanship. We are here to provide informed and impartial analysis that hopefully will drive more informed, more data-driven decision-making in school districts, local governments across the state, and of course, state government. Next slide. We are a membership organization, as you are. What this fancy-looking circular chart shows on this screen is that we work very hard to keep our membership diverse. So we have a mix of corporate members, and BMO, who I know is out there somewhere, is a very prominent member of ours. Again, Don Powell's firm is a member. There is membership information about our organization on our website. But you can see the sort of equal spheres there for corporate, nonprofit, and government and school district. And we have over 350 members. We work very hard to maintain this diversity. Perhaps if we skewed too much toward the corporate side, there may be an assumption that we skew right in terms of our research products. If we were too heavy on the nonprofit or government side, maybe there'd be an assumption that we skew left. So this is very important. One of the reasons I can hopefully credibly stand up, or in this case, virtually stand up before you and say that we are fiercely nonpartisan. Next slide. So what do? We do a mix of different things. So research, without question, is our bread and butter. And I see something has gone wrong here, but I'll just keep on going. Here we go. Research is our bread and butter. We do a mix of different research products. What I'm showing on this screen are some of the more in-depth comprehensive reports that we released in 2020. You can see a range of topics covering both the state, the greater Milwaukee region, covering school districts. But just to point out a few, we came out with a very high-profile report right before the end of the year regarding the state of Wisconsin's public universities and colleges. You may have heard some of the coverage on public radio or seen some of the newspaper coverage where we simply tracked what has been going on with the UW system in terms of funding, in terms of the impacts of the tuition freeze, in terms of a variety of different factors, and sort of painted the picture of where things stood. So that's a good example of a piece of research we did that hopefully is of interest to business leaders like all of you. Service sharing, governmental cooperation and service sharing is a key part of our portfolio. So one of the reports you're seeing there is a study we did on fire and EMS service sharing in the La Crosse County region. You can see some of the specific work we did for the greater Milwaukee region on affordable housing, on youth sports, and we are slowly but surely trying to move that type of sort of narrower research that's sort of geographically focused into the greater Madison region as well. Next slide. Another one of our staples is our budget briefs. Government finance is a key part of our portfolio. These reports that you're seeing here that we produced in 2020, and I don't know, we will replicate these in 2021. In fact, we're gearing up to review and analyze the state budget. And what these reports are about 20 to 25 pages. For those of you who ever take a look at what the Legislative Fiscal Bureau produces, they don't come anywhere near that degree of granularity and detail. But then again, they give you a lot more than you could read about your local budget, in this case, the city of Madison or the Madison Metropolitan School District, for example, in the newspaper. So we actually write these with business leaders as an audience. If you're looking for information about some of these critical budgets, I obviously know the Milwaukee budgets are not going to be of interest to you, but this is a good place to go where if you want to just do a 20-minute or a half-hour read to really understand the nuts and bolts of these important local government budgets, this is a resource that we put out. Next. Our data tools, we have several of them. I'm showing you our municipal data tool here, and this is pretty cool. You could actually go to this, to our website, go to the data tool, and if you were interested, for example, and just, hey, I wonder how much the city of Middleton spends on a per capita basis for police versus Verona, for example, versus Madison, again, on a per cap basis. You can run your own reports. You can do your own comparative analysis. So again, this is data for those of you in the real estate industry. There's important information here that might be of consequence to you in terms of doing your job. So these are products that we put out. And all of these things, while we are a membership organization, anybody can have access to these resources on our website, wispolicyforum.org. Next slide. I just want to leave you with 3 slides, 3 tidbits from some very recent reports that we have just put out in the past month. The first one, this is always of interest, of course, to chambers, is our tax burden. So for literally 5 decades, WisTax had been tracking what we refer to as the tax burden. What is that? It's the amount of state and local taxes that Wisconsin residents are paying as a percentage of the income they are earning. And so you can see the rather remarkable fall in terms of, and tax burden, I sometimes regret we use that word. Obviously, we all have to pay taxes, and taxes pay for very critical services. But just as a measurement, it's really impressive to see the extent to which this metric has gone down over the past 30 years. At the same time, I think this may be good news for our friends on the left side of the aisle as well, because does it suggest perhaps that to the extent that we have seen some underinvestment in things like the UW system, that there may be room, particularly once the recession hopefully ends and the pandemic ends, to do some reinvestment without being onerous in terms of the tax burden. Next slide, and I promise I'm almost done. We took a look at the hidden deficit, the so-called gap deficit. I know there are some accountants out there, but when we look at generally accounted principles and apply those to the state's books, the state, as you can see, has been running some relatively sizable deficits since 1990. In 2020, for the first time, again, in the time period that you're seeing here, we've eliminated that. So that's some really good news. You want some bad news? When we still look across the 50 states, the only state with a worse gap deficit, or now small surplus than us, is our neighbor to the south, Illinois. So if when you're thinking about a government finance issue, your bedfellow is the state of Illinois, that's probably not a great place to be. But then again, I don't want to diminish it. Clearly progress has been made here. Next slide, which is the final slide. We took a look at local spending, all forms of local government spending. We also looked at state spending, and we just want to see how Wisconsin compared. And as you can see, what this story is telling us is that we're about the middle of the pack. We've done a lot of work on the revenue structure for local governments and school districts in Wisconsin. We're always asked, well, what about the spending side of the equation? We dug into data for several months, looked across the 50 states. Here's what we came up with. So I apologize for going over by a little bit, but I'll chalk that up to the technical problem. So hopefully you'll give me a pass. And it was nice to be here, and thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Pass is given. I have to say, I am a total data nerd, so I look forward to going down the rabbit hole of your website. So we appreciate you being here today.
Great.
Okay, next up, we have Ann from the Small Business Development Center. The UW-Madison Small Business Development Center is an outreach center within the Wisconsin School of Business. The SBDC provides assistance for starting, growing, and managing businesses. Ann is joining us from their team as she joined the SBDC in early 2017 and enjoys leveraging her diverse experience to assist small businesses with solid business planning and growth management. Ann, I'm going to turn it on over to you.
Thank you, Kate. Boy, it is such a pleasure to be here with all of you this morning. And I'd like to start with just a huge shout out to Kristen and Kate at the Chamber for all of the great work that you do to support our business community, and also for the opportunity to be here today to share a little bit about what we do at the SBDC and the tools and resources that we have available to the business community as well. So next slide, please. Okay, actually, next slide, please. There we go. Okay, so who is the SBDC? Lots of acronyms in what we do, but the SBDC is the Small Business Development Center, and we are a large national network, and we are a resource partner to the SBA, or the U.S. Small Business Administration. And our mission is to support the SBA in the work that they do to promote the health and growth of small businesses in our economy. And just as a sidebar, small business is commonly defined as companies with revenue under 7 million and less than 500 employees. So it's a pretty broad definition, and small business in our country actually accounts for 99% of all business entities. So hopefully you'll find that our resources are here to help a lot of folks as they look to grow and manage their businesses. So back to our network, as a network, there are over 1,000 locations across the US and US territories. And here in Wisconsin, we have 13 centers. And in Wisconsin, we're organized around the system four-year institution. So you can see from this little infographic where our centers are. And here in Madison, our office is at Granger Hall. As Kate mentioned, we are the outreach arm of the Wisconsin School of Business. So pre-COVID, that's where we spent all of our time, and you could find us. And we're also part of the UW system. So we're part of the system Institute for Business and Entrepreneurship. And if you haven't checked them out, it is just chock full of resources and data to support business and economic development here in our state. So what we do, we have two key service areas. Our first is we provide no-cost, confidential one-on-one business consulting. And then we also provide business education services to help entrepreneurs, again, start, manage, and grow their businesses here in our state. Out of our center at UW-Madison, we serve Dane, Sauk, and Columbia counties, and we tend to work with pre-startup, startup, and emerging mid-sized companies, just on the whole. We service a wide range of industries. We are not industry specific, so we'll talk with just about anyone. We are not able to serve nonprofits. That is the one exclusion for our services. And another thing I want to mention is we're a partner here in this awesome ecosystem we have in the Madison area to support small business. So, you know, if we're not the right resource, we certainly will do everything we can to pair folks up with professional service providers and other resources here in our state. Next slide, please. So I want to unpack consulting just briefly here. Again, it's no cost, it's confidential, and it's one-on-one for scalable businesses. In terms of topics, we cover a wide range of topics. A lot of business planning work. Planning is really integrated in everything we do. We help with financials, and then of course ongoing operational issues spanning the gamut of marketing, you know, just anything you can think of. Quick highlight on this last bullet point. It's highlighted for a reason in the time of COVID. We also provide business injury and disaster support. And boy, have we done a lot of that in the past year. We were really proud to be part of the broad ecosystem here to support our business owners in terms of pairing up with federal resources and funding. Just some quick stats here. We worked with almost 500 folks last year, helping them to receive $13.5 million in terms of EIDL and PPP loans, and then of course, traditional lending for business growth. Next slide, please. Also want to touch base on our classes. We provide a really wide range of business education. Again, pre-COVID, all of these were out of Granger Hall, but we have pivoted and have all of our offerings available virtually now. I encourage you to check out our website, and I'll make sure to get that in the chat. But really our courses are organized in different buckets: start, manage, and grow. And grow really focuses on leadership development. We have a wide range of courses that are focused especially on those who might be taking on new leadership roles. Our classes, again, are available virtually, and they're taught by subject matter experts. We also have some special programs and certifications. So for example, SHRM certification, we offer a lot in that area as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so I've got to highlight just a couple things coming up. First thing I want to mention here is we have received some CARES Act funding, so are able to offer some special courses right now at no cost. So if you haven't checked us out before, again, good time to check out the website and see what might be a good fit for your organization. You can try us for free, and hopefully it'll be a great experience for you. So just a couple things coming up. We've got a great series on kind of helping your teams reset after all the challenges of this past year. Great webinar coming up on hiring UW students. A lot of folks are interested in that, so we've put something together to help you make those connections. And again, there are many more here. Next slide, please. Okay, last but not least, I want to mention one more new support item we have for 2021. Coming out of COVID, or in the middle of COVID, we developed a practical guide for helping small businesses deal with the challenges of COVID. There's just been so much uncertainty and so many challenges that are new to folks. And we wrote this specifically for small businesses based on best practices in the years and years of consulting work that we've done in our office. It's a really easy to use, easy to navigate workbook style guide. It is free. Again, this was funded by CARES Act funding as well. It's available for download on our website, and it's available in both English and Spanish. We've also found that it's a great planning tool for 2021. It really helps you work through kind of your initial reactions to the pandemic and then sort through some really good planning in terms of best practices. So it's available, and I encourage you to either use it yourself or share that out to folks in your network. I think I'm at time, so thank you all so much for the time. And again, it's just such a pleasure to be with this group. This is really a special organization, and so appreciate everything that the Chamber does for our business community. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I was feverishly taking notes, so I look forward to checking out your website and seeing all of the valuable information that you have, and encourage everyone to check that out. All right, next up, we have our friends from Marco Technologies. Jay Brown is Marco Technologies Print Security National Team Lead. He joins us all the way from Minneapolis, Minnesota, but is the first to say he is empathetically not a Vikings fan. A seasoned security, privacy, and risk consultant, Jay has extensive experience designing and executing of information security systems. Take it away, Jay. Do we have you, Jay?
Maybe some technical difficulties?
We did have Jay.
I was just
There
chatting.
you are.
Hear me now?
There you
I was
are.
just chatting him.
There.
There we go.
All right. Well, you all just have to believe me that my introduction was wonderful and fantastic. But I was mentioning a big shout out to Drew Goff from Marco as well for being an ambassador of a month with Erica. That is phenomenal to see. So pleasure to be here with you all, now speaking especially. As mentioned, my name is Jay Brown out of Minneapolis, and I'm the print security guy at Marco. So I have a little bit of information to share with you, and I think almost everyone should take away some good pieces here from our presentation. So print security, think about other devices if this doesn't apply to you, but your phone, your home router, all of these technologies that we use today that we don't necessarily think of in the traditional, hey, that needs to be secured sense. Organizations by and large are really good when it comes to your Windows PC, your Macintoshes, your actual infrastructure, your servers and your firewalls and all of these great pieces of technology. But there's a lot of things that we use, a lot of them classified as Internet of Things devices that we have. They're connected to our networks, they're connected to our homes, they're connected to our persons all day, every day, and yet they present risk to us. So here's my friendly reminder to each of you as business owners, business process owners, individuals at organizations. We rely a lot on other vendors, other organizations to do what our mission is. And yet, we cannot outsource all of our risk to others. We still need to take ownership of these technologies, even if they're being provided by a service provider, because they do present risk to our organization. And you hear on the news time and time again about ransomware and other types of data theft that happen to your peers, big and small. So few pieces, not doom and gloom, but that you can actionably work upon with these types of devices. And on the right side of the screen right here, hardware, firmware, configuration management. These are my big three. Hardware simply means keep it current. You don't want a phone that isn't supported by Samsung or Apple any longer. So make sure, why would you keep a home router? Or in my particular case, printers. We see them every week from the early 2000s or even 1990s. It's surprising how long some of those older devices last. I highly doubt ones you buy in 2020 will last that long, but they were built like tanks. And so we have to ask ourselves, hey, are we opening ourselves up to additional risk here by keeping these devices? Second, though, firmware, this is that generic reminder, you got to update things. It doesn't happen automatically in most cases. The biggest outlier here would be your cell phones. Apple and Google in recent years decided, nope, our users, we want to help them by making the updates automatic. That's when you see your phone say, hey, I've got to update overnight. That doesn't happen for a lot of our other devices, printers especially. Again, those same 1990s, early 2000s devices that we see every single week, they're running firmware, they're running software from the date that they were manufactured. They haven't been touched once. So that's really important because there are pieces of bad software, malware, viruses, things that can affect these devices. So we need to make sure that we're keeping them current and that we are updating them. And finally, configuration management. This applies to each and every one of us in different ways, but it's like buying a new house with really sturdy doors and bulletproof windows and a fancy alarm system. If we don't lock the doors, shut the windows, and turn on the alarm system, we're really not realizing the benefits of these technologies. So printers, routers, phones, what can you lock down? What can you make sure is secure? And if you're feeling a little underwater, I'm really glad to say on our next slide, we're here to help. You don't have to be the experts on this, and it is part of my job to really share this information as widely and loudly as possible because security is a really important subject to me. At Marco, we have some phenomenal brand partners. This is also my reminder that, hey, we have hyper-local service, hyper-local sales organization structure. Our individuals that you interface with, like Drew, are members of your community. I happen to be right across the river in Minneapolis, but we have national expertise, so a lot of really deep knowledge in the technology services that we provide. As well, the advantage of having giant brand partnerships and buying power, really, at the end of the day, to bring some of these services to at very competitive national rates. On the next slide, this is my call to action or my invitation to each and every one of you. Even if you have only one copier device or tens of thousands, we service everything in between, and we really pride ourselves on that, especially in rural areas and hard to reach. The entire state of Wisconsin, the entire state of Minnesota, entire state of Illinois, we have service technicians in all of those areas, so that's a huge advantage for us. Reach out. We'd love to take a look at your print fleet and give you some advice on it. These assessments are entirely no cost, and so really hope that you take advantage of it. On my very final slide, again, a resounding thank you. It is a pleasure to be here with you all today. And again, I hope you take some of those little pieces and implement them into your life. Security is an important topic, and the responsibility truly is on each and every one of us. Thank you. Wonderful to be with you today.
Thank you, Jay. I know, at least for me, technology we know how important it is, how important security is, but to try to understand it and react to it as a layperson can be scary and frustrating. So we're so glad that we have people like you and Drew that can help guide us through that. So thank you for being here today. All right, so next up we have FaceTime. So for those of you that this is your first experience with Get Moving Middleton, this is our way of getting some small group networking accomplished. So in just a moment, Kristen will send us off into breakout rooms. Go around the room, each person just say your name and the company that you're with and representing, and then you can answer the question of the day to get things moving, or strike up your own conversations, whatever you guys want to do. We have the question for the day as, what never have I ever question got you out? So just 1 second and we'll all, oh, and be sure to come back here at the end for some important announcements.
Awesome.
Good seeing you, Mayor. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah,
welcome back, everyone.
Talk to you next in a month, so yes.
All right, I just want to remind everyone to get signed up for the SIP Sample SIP Sample event coming up in just a few short weeks. So Kristen has the link in the chat, so make sure you go out there. I want to thank our February monthly sponsor, Iconica, and our annual sponsors, MG&E, Marco Technologies, Premier Retirement Partners, and Hilton Garden Inn. Quick reminder that if you do not want your name or your email address on the list that Kristen's going to send out, please let her know right away. Make sure you follow us on social media and make sure you check out our calendar of events. It was such a pleasure seeing everybody's faces, and thank you so much to our speakers and sponsors. Did I miss anything? Did I forget anything, Kristen?
Nope, I think we're good. We'll see you guys in March.